My finger hovered above the Enter key. Oddly, the anger I expected wasn't there. Instead, a strange stillness settled over me. Behind me stood the security team, ready to escort me out of the building I devoted the last year and a half to, my second home. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught Victor Carlton leaning casually against the doorway, his signature smug grin plastered across his face. I'd seen that look directed at competitors he planned to crush, never once at me, until now. Your employment is officially terminated. Effective immediately, he said smoothly, every word coated in false concern. The $250,000 bonus is a generous gesture considering what you've contributed. $250,000. That was the price tag he put on 18 months of my life, on Precog, the AI security platform I'd poured my soul into. My idea. My invention. Now legally rebranded as Next Solutions property. All thanks to the fine print. I watched as Victor slid the termination paperwork across the desk. Without a word, I handed over my laptop. Certainly, Mr. Carlton. Best of luck with your investor demo tomorrow. With my ID badge confiscated and a cliché cardboard box filled with my belongings in hand, I walked out of the building. I couldn't help but smile, thinking about the embedded surprise tucked deep within the presentation software Victor planned to use in less than a day. Sometimes, the most dangerous threats come from within. 3 days earlier, I had finally done the impossible. I'd built an AI that could detect and neutralize cyber threats before they could even manifest. Not react. Predict. I named it Precog, inspired by the premonition-gifted beings in my favorite sci-fi film. When the system blocked a simulated attack entirely on its own, catching vulnerabilities even I hadn't programmed, it was clear we had broken new ground. I immediately set up a meeting with Victor, the CEO of Nextech. His assistant Megan squeezed me in for a 15-minute slot the next day. In hindsight, the warning signs were obvious. The rushed meeting. Victor's too-polished smile that never reached his eyes when reading my progress reports. The innocent-sounding technical questions about the system's architecture. When I walked into his office, I found not just Victor waiting, but also Diana Wells, the company's lead legal counsel. Have a seat, Sophia, Victor said, gesturing to the chair opposite his. Diana's here for formality. There was something cold in his voice. My stomach clenched. I clutched my laptop tighter, ready to showcase Precog's latest breakthrough. But before I could say a word, Victor slid a document toward me. Before we talk about your system, he began, we need to clarify a few issues regarding your employment terms. Diana chimed in, her tone cool and detached. Section 12.4 of your contract states that all intellectual property developed using company tools, time, or resources is the exclusive property of Nextech Solutions. I nodded cautiously. Yes, I'm familiar with standard IP clauses. But Precog predates my time here. I have documentation to prove it. Diana didn't flinch. Your early ideas may have existed prior, but the functioning system, the actual prototype, was built using our infrastructure and within your employment period. Victor leaned in, the mask finally off. Let's be clear, Sophia. Precog belongs to us. The board believes your compensation is more than fair. Compensation. I repeated, my voice barely hiding the shock that was slowly morphing into horror. Victor gave a tight smile. Your contract includes a success bonus. You'll receive $250,000 when Precog launches. Quite generous, considering industry norms. I sat motionless, the betrayal sinking in like a blade. Precog wasn't just a project. It was years of research, long nights, skipped holidays, a vision I nurtured into something worth billions. And they were offering me a check to go away quietly. Tomorrow, Victor went on, clearly oblivious to the devastation he'd caused, I'll present Precog to our top investors. We anticipate securing $50 million in funding. After that, we'll formally unveil our flagship cybersecurity platform. You're firing me, I said, voice flat. We're facilitating your transition, Diana corrected smoothly. Effective immediately. With your bonus, of course. I should have fought back, filed a lawsuit, demanded justice. But instead, something unexpected washed over me, serenity. They were prepared for confrontation. They anticipated rage. What they weren't ready for was the quiet confidence of someone who had already made her move. 6 months earlier, I discovered an unauthorized login to my development server. Victor had accessed it after hours. Though nothing appeared stolen, it triggered alarms. I'd been on high alert since. And I started preparing for this very moment. Precog wasn't just built to stop external threats. It could defend itself from internal ones too. That night, I didn't spiral or seek revenge. I ordered some takeout, watched brainless TV, and waited. At 9:30 p.m., my phone rang. Megan's voice was tight. "He wants to see you. Now." "It's nearly 10 o'clock, I said calmly. "He says it's urgent. There's a car already on the way to pick you up." 40 minutes later, I walked into the main conference room at Nextech. Victor sat alone at the head of the long table, disheveled, his tie askew and hair a mess from frantic fingers. "Fix it," he barked as the door shut behind me. I eased into a seat across from him, unbothered. "Fix what, exactly?" "Don't play dumb, Sophia. You sabotaged the demo." I raised an eyebrow. "Me? I've been gone for 24 hours. Security watched me pack my things. I took nothing. Touched no systems." Victor slammed his palm on the table. The trial run crashed. The system flagged non-existent threats, thousands of them. It flooded the network with false alerts. "It's completely broken." "Sounds like a technical glitch," I said. "Have you tried the classic fix, turning it off and back on?" His face flushed with frustration. "This isn't a joke. We've got 12 key investors flying in tomorrow. $50 million is on the line." "Your investors," I reminded him. "Your system now. Isn't that what you wanted?" He took a deep breath, collecting himself. When he spoke again, his tone was honeyed persuasive, the same one that once convinced me to join him. "Look, maybe we acted too quickly. I'm open to discussing a better deal. Co-creator credit. Bigger compensation. Maybe even some equity." I reclined in my seat, studying him. What exactly happened during the test? He hesitated. The system turned inward. It labeled parts of our own infrastructure as hostile. Then it began generating reports, hundreds, documenting what it called internal ethical violations. I smiled. "Precog's job is to identify threats, Victor." "All of them." "What did you do?" he growled. "I didn't do anything," I said. Precog is operating exactly as intended. It's a learning AI designed to protect networks from malicious activity. I fed it real-world examples, including insider threats. "You programmed it to spy on us," he said, eyes wide with realization. "I trained it to identify danger, no matter where it comes from," I said softly. "Right now, it's flagging something inside Nextech as a threat. I wonder what that might be." Victor's face shifted. Realization finally reached him. "The system thinks I'm the problem," he muttered. "Not you exactly," I clarified. "But maybe certain actions. Unauthorized access to protected servers. Alterations to admin credentials. Attempts to falsely claim ownership of proprietary work. That sort of thing." His eyes darkened. "You don't have any proof." "I don't need to," I replied calmly. Precog has been quietly collecting it for months, every unauthorized login, every duplicated file, every altered document. It's all logged. Timestamps. Access histories. Even keystroke records. Everything is stored in the reports it generated. A heavy silence filled the room. Victor stared at me, the anger in his eyes fading into calculation. "What are you after?" he asked finally. "Proper credit as the original creator and lead developer of Precog. 50% ownership of all patents and IP rights. A permanent seat on the board to oversee ethical usage. And $10 million in compensation for the attempt to erase me." "That's blackmail," he said through clenched teeth. "No," I said coolly. "That's a negotiation. Blackmail would be me sending those reports to your investors and the SEC." Victor locked eyes with me for a long moment, but the fight was already draining from his posture. His shoulders fell slightly. "The system. Can you make it work again for the investor demo?" "Precog isn't broken," I explained. "It's simply doing what it was designed to do, Identify unauthorized users. Since you removed me from the authentication loop, it's flagging all command inputs as suspicious. A quick fix. I reached into my coat pocket and placed a small flash drive on the table. This contains a secure patch to reinstate proper credentials. It'll allow the system to run smoothly again, for now. Consider it a gesture of good faith for the new partnership. He eyed the drive. And if I say no? Then Precog continues flagging your systems as compromised. The demo fails spectacularly, and those reports find their way to people who take compliance and fraud very seriously. Entirely your decision. Victor hesitated, then reached for the drive. You've been planning this from the start. I shook my head. I planned nothing. But after catching you inside my protected server half a year ago, I made sure the system, and I, couldn't be taken down so easily. How did you know I'd try to cut you out? I stood to leave. I didn't. But Precog was built to detect threats before they form. Seems its creator picked up that habit too. The following morning, I walked into Nextech not as an employee, but as co-founder and chief technology officer. Victor introduced me to the investor group with a forced smile stretched across his face. The same smile that had once fooled me, but now barely concealed the bitter twist behind it. The demo proceeded perfectly. Precog operated like a symphony, seamlessly intercepting simulated cyber attacks and neutralizing them with intelligent precision. Afterward, one of the investors leaned in and asked Victor, "Incredible platform. What was the inspiration behind it?" Victor paused, just long enough to make me smirk. He cleared his throat. "The vision came from Sophia," he said. "She conceived it. We simply gave her the environment and resources to let that vision grow." As we fielded technical questions, my phone buzzed. A notification from Precog. Threat eliminated. System integrity restored. Creator authentication active. I smiled. The AI was evolving faster than even I had imagined. It had identified a threat, not just to the system, but to its purpose, and had played its role in neutralizing it. 3 months later, Precog had its first major live deployment. It stopped a coordinated breach attempt targeting a major banking institution, saving them over $340 million in potential losses. Overnight, it became the benchmark for cybersecurity systems around the world. Victor and I? We keep things professional. He focuses on what he's actually good at, business development, while I lead innovation and technical strategy. We're not friends. We never will be. But we've carved out a working balance. Sometimes I think back and wonder, should I have gone the legal route? Could I have fought the betrayal through the courts instead of code? But then I remember, Victor's actions taught me something vital. Technology is only as trustworthy as the people behind it. That philosophy is now core to how we operate. Every Precog implementation includes strict ethical protocols, transparency audits, and layered safeguards. It's not just a system that protects networks. It defends itself, and its users, from misuse. Last week, we celebrated Precog's IPO. Market valuation? $4.2 billion. At the party, a young engineer came up to me. Wide-eyed, full of wonder. "What's the secret?" she asked. "How do you build something this powerful?" I smiled and told her the truth. It's not just about smart code. It's about building something that can adapt, detect threats early, and survive, without losing its purpose. Just like I had to. And one more thing, I added, leaning closer. If you're building something game-changing right now, protect it. Document everything. Embed fail-safes. Because the biggest threats? They're not always hackers or rival firms. I glanced across the room at Victor, laughing with investors. Sometimes, the real danger is the person sitting beside you, smiling, while planning to take everything you've built. Bell like this story? Tap subscribe and hit the bell icon for more content about tech innovation, corporate survival, and protecting your ideas in a competitive world. Speech Balloon ever had your work stolen or overlooked? Share your story in the comments. Your voice matters, and you're not alone.